Hello and welcome back to Saxon Math. This is lesson 35, writing decimal numbers as fractions. It's part 1. It is also reading and writing decimal numbers. This one has 21 problems. I'm not going to lie to you. It's going to be a long one. I'm going to go as fast as I can, and if you miss something, you're going to have to rewind and watch it again. So apparently it's a new concept, but decimal numbers are actually fractions. Their denominators come from the sequence 10, 100, 1000, and so on. The denominator of a decimal fraction is not written. Instead, it is indicated by the number of decimal places. So one decimal place indicates that the denominator is 10. So if it's one decimal place, that's the tenths. And there's 10 equal parts. Two decimal places indicate that the denominator is 100. So if it's in the hundredths place, that means there are 100 equal parts. And in this case, this is 3/10, so there's only 3 out of the 10, and here is 3/100ths. So there's only 3 out of the 100. Three decimal places indicates that the denominator is 1000. So we wouldn't really be able to show this in picture form very easily, but you can see that 3/1000ths is 3 of 1,000 possible parts. Example 1, a quart is 25 hundredths of a gallon. Write 25 hundredths as a fraction. And what we want to do is use 25. We notice it has two decimal places, so that the denominator is 100. The numerator is going to be 25. This fraction also reduces to 1/4 because both of the denominator and the numerator are divisible by 25. If you divide 25 by 25, you get 1. If you divide 100 by 25, you get 4. Let's look at example 2. A kilometer is about 6/10ths of a mile. Write 6/10ths as a decimal number. So the denominator being 10, the decimal number has to have one decimal place. We would write this 6 digit in this place right here. So 6/10ths just means that the 6 has to be in the tenths place. Tenths with the TH. Not the tens place, but the tenths place. We read numbers to the right of a decimal point the same way we read whole numbers, and then we say the place value of the last digit. We read 23 hundredths as 23 hundredths because the last digit is in the hundredths place. To read a mixed decimal number like 20 and 4/10ths, we read the whole number part, and then we say the word and then read the decimal part. 4 is where it's ending in the hundredths place. So this would be 20 and 4/100ths. Example 3, the length of a football field is about 57 thousandths miles. So write that as words. So we would see that 57 and 3 decimal places, we see that the last digit, the 7, ends in the thousandths place. So all we need to do is speak what we can, the 57 as we know it to be. If you were to read this number, you know that it's 57, and it has a dash between it. 57 thousandths would be how you would write that. Example 4, an inch is 2 and 54 centimeters. Use words to write 2 and 54 hundredths. So the decimal point separates the whole number part of the number from the decimal part of the number. We name the whole number part, write and then name the decimal part. So 2 and 54 hundredths would be the decimal place of that particular number. So 2, remember the word and is what the decimal is, and then 54 hundredths. Example 5, write 21 hundredths as a fraction to begin with, and then as a decimal for part B. So the solution, the same words name both a fraction form and a decimal form of the number. The number hundredths indicates that the denominator is 100. So you should have 21 hundredths, 21 over 100. The word hundredths also indicates that the decimal number has two decimal places. So you should have 21 and it should end in the hundredths place. That one digit should be in the hundredths place. Example 6, write 15 and 2/10 as a decimal number. The whole number part is 15. The fraction part is 2/10, which we write in decimal form. So 15, the word and is the decimal. 2/10. 2 is in the tenths place. So it's in the, because it is in the tenths place, it's just one decimal place to the right of the decimal. How would you write 15 and 2/10 as a mixed number? So 15 and 2/10 as a mixed number would look like that. It would have to be reduced because 2 is divisible by 2, so this would actually end up being reduced to 15 and 1/5 ideally, but this would be spoken as 15 and 2/10. This would be written best as a reduced mixed number. All right, practice set. Write each decimal number as a fraction. So letter A, go ahead and do that. So you should have 1 and it's in the tenths place, so you should have a 10 as a denominator. Go ahead and do letter B. This is 31 hundredths. So all you need to do is have 31 in the numerator and 100 in the denominator. Letter C. This would be 321 and it's in the thousandths place, so it should be 321 thousandths. That's how they should be. I did not read these decimals out because if I would have said do letter A, 1/10, it would have given away the answer. Or if I would have said do letter B, 31 hundredths, it would have given away the answer. If you know how to read decimals properly instead of 0.31 or 0.321, you know the answer to the decimals as a fraction. Write each fraction as a decimal number. Letter D. This one would be 3/10. Letter E. 17 hundredths. Letter F. 123 thousandths. That's how they would look. All right. Use words to write each number. So letter G. G should be starting with 5. And then you have to look at what place value it ends in. It's not the tenths place, it's in the hundredths place. So I'm going to write 100, but then I need a THS on the end of that. Letter H. This one would be 15. Let me try to do my cursive with this digital pen. And my cursive with digital pens is lackluster. Let me try it again. 15. All right. And that would be in what place value is that? That is not the tenths, not the hundredths, but the thousandths. So I need to write thousands with a THS on the end of it. Letter I. This should be 1. And then you need to write the decimal portion, which is and then this would be 2. And what place value is the 2 in? It looks like it's the tenths place. All right, write each number first as a fraction, then as a decimal number. So letter J, do 7/10 as a fraction and a decimal number. So 7/10 as a fraction would look like this. As a decimal number, it would look like this. Do letter K, 31 hundredths. 31 hundredths as a fraction would look like this. As a decimal number, it would look like this. Ends in the hundredths place. Letter L, 731 thousandths. So as a fraction, that would be 731 in the numerator and then thousands in the denominator. As a decimal, it would look like this, 731. It ends in the thousandths place, so that would be it. If it was 10 thousandths, if it was 10 thousandths, so let me just show you what the difference would be. If it was 731 10 thousandths, that would look like this. 731 10 thousandths. 731, I'm writing 731 10 thousandths. So keep that in mind. This is only in the thousandths place. It ends in the thousandths place because this is a tenth, this is a hundredth, and this is the thousandths place. So that's where it ends. Write each number as a decimal number. So 5 and 6/10. 5 and 6/10. See, the and is a decimal, 5 is 5, 6/10 is 6 in the tenths place. If it said 5 and 6/100, then it would be 5 and 6/100, 6 in the hundredths place. If it said 5 and 6/1000, that would be 5 and 6/1000 in the thousandths place. Okay. Letter N, 11 and 12/100. This one you would start with the whole number 11 and you have to have 12 and it ends in the hundredths place. Letter O, 125 thousandths. This one you'd have 125, but then it has to be ending in the thousandths place. So this 5 has to be in the thousandths place, which means the decimal's right here, and I have a 0 in front of that. If it said 125 10 thousandths, that would look like this, 125 10 thousandths, because the 5 would be in the 10 thousandths place then. If it said 125 hundred thousandths, it would simply be this, 2 zeros to move the place of the 5 into the hundred thousandths place. This would be the tenths, hundredths, thousandths, 10 thousandths, hundred thousandths place. Okay, thanks for watching. If you missed anything, rewind it because there's a lot of problems there. We did 21 problems in 12 minutes, so that's pretty good. We'll see you tomorrow.